In today's episode, Courtney and I have the pleasure of sitting down with DJ and Tori Carroll, the owners of Carroll Media. And this is part 2 of one episode. This is where we break down how to make sure that you're branding yourself in business as the insurance professional, how to stay compliant so you don't end up in compliance jail. And we're going to dive into a lot of this material and more through this conversation. With that being said, let's start the show. You want to have life insurance appointments with your customers, but you don't know how. That's exactly why I created the 6-figure life insurance producer course, so you don't have to struggle like I had to. I had never been taught how to have an appointment, what the appointment looked like, what the conversation looked like and sounded like. And I don't want you to have to struggle like I struggled. And so we cover all of that in this course, how to have a full-blown life insurance appointment where you're driving bigger death benefit, bigger premium, regardless if you're in person or if that appointment is virtual in today's age. So if you are wanting to be more confident at the life insurance conversation and you want to know exactly what that appointment conversation looks like, this course is for you. Not only do you get the video training, you get the playbooks, you get the word tracks, you get the scripts. And the best part about this is it's a one-time investment. You invest in yourself today and you keep the content forever. So if you're looking to go from struggle to success and actually be confident in the conversation when you're meeting with customers, the 6-figure life insurance producer course is specifically for you. So I want to get into how you specifically help insurance agents in there, because you're working with thousands of insurance agents across the country right now that represent all kinds of different companies, from your State Farm to your Allstate to your Farmers to the independent broker channel. So tell us how you
be easy
are
saying that SF
agents.
word, man. That thing got me in trouble. I'm joking, of course.
How are you helping them scale their business? How are you helping them attract more customers? How are you helping them convert those customers?
Yeah, man. I appreciate that softball. I will say though, I think your audience will appreciate the dialogue we just had. So many podcasts are so just like breeze over at 30,000 foot view and no like real conversations. And I think what we just talked about there is powerful and will help somebody. So, you know what I mean? That's like, I think that's why you and I, like, that's why when you make content, you want to help people. That's what you hope to achieve, right? You hope to have good conversation. That's not just fluff, man. I see so many people making content today and it's just fluff. There's nothing there. So I just like kudos to you guys.
It's 30-second sound bites. It's like you can't base your entire business philosophy or sales strategy off of 30-second sound bites of shit that's not even true. Like everybody that's in business struggles. And if you said it earlier in the podcast, if you have a mentor or coach or someone you look up to that doesn't talk about their struggles, they are not your mentor. They are not your coach. They are not your trainer because they are not being honest.
Exactly.
Or they haven't pushed their edge enough to find where the L's are. Because if you push
that one
and you try to kick down doors and you go for big, if you jump for a big thing, you might miss.
You're taking an
That's
L.
part of it. Yep. Like if you haven't taken an L, you're not going big enough. Go bigger and see where it's at.
I like the analogy of you got a lot of professors that are teaching rocket science right now, and Bezos has blown up more rockets than those guys have. You know what I'm saying? Like there's people that are teaching the fundamental, like on the blackboard, here's how the math works out. But it's like, yeah, but have you ever blown one of them up on the launch pad before? Because like you learn a lot of shit from that. So I will always, I want the guy that's got the most bruises and cuts and scratches. But back to how I help agents, since 2016, me and my brother started this thing with Facebook and Instagram. I think I've shared the story before on the podcast here is, helping these agents create a brand. We're going to do this ad campaign. I'm going to give you guys some insight. We're doing this ad campaign this year called Lead Junkies. And so you guys know Tyrone Biggums from the Chappelle Show, right? And the guy's like, "Oh, crack rocks," right? So we're making fun of Tyrone. We're making fun of agents that are like, hooked on leads because we find these guys that literally they're like, hey man, you kind of need them leads.
Yes.
And you, I mean, don't knock it. Like there's guys that have built, $10+ million premium businesses solely on buying leads. But with TCPA coming around this year, like you're going to see the landscape completely change in 2025 if these regulations.
Time out. What is TCPA?
Oh boy. Okay. So the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, it's through the FCC. It's around a lot of the stuff that's like, auto dialers and things like that. So like the do not call list is would be considered a TCPA type deal. What is changing, though, especially for insurance agents, is the first-party data. And so what's happening is we finally have some people in Washington 20 years after information becomes mainstream. It's like these guys are starting to go, oh, I kind of understand this shit now, right? And so they're starting to put regulations in place. And so essentially, if everything holds as it is right now, it was supposed to start in July 1 of this year. They pushed it back to the end of this year. But if I had to call a Babe Ruth shot, you'll see a lot of these lead vendors cutting some crazy deals this year because they know it's their last one to do it. Essentially, the way that lead generation works right now is you'll take I won't name any company because we have a lot of them that are partners with us that host webinars, but we'll have a lead vendor, right, that will have a website that they drive consumers to, and they say, get a quote on your insurance. You say, great, put your information in. Boom. And it's like, do you consent to receiving a quote? You're like, you don't read the 47 pages, you just click yes. And you're now giving them they're essentially getting permission to now sell your data to other people, right? Same thing as think of a lending tree. We don't do anything with lending trees, so we'll throw them under the bus real quick. The lending tree, does the same thing, right? When bankers compete, consumers win. That's their thing, right? So it's like you go on there, you get a bunch of quotes. It's a lead aggregator. What's changing is that if you do not have first-party consent, meaning Courtney, you came to my website, you put your information in, you expect Coach Carroll to call you with the quote. I cannot sell that to 17 other agents now that are going to blow you up because they do not have your consent. You guys are going to see the lead industry crumble because there are tons of businesses that play in the middle, meaning they buy a lead for 10 cents, they sell it for 20 cents, and they just make their money on volume, right? All of that's going away. And a lot of people in the marketing space are like, hair on fire, holy shit, what are we going to do? And I'm like, been telling y'all to build a brand since 2016. And so that's what we do for agents. Amen. We say if you build a personal brand, if you build a brand around your business, then people come to you based on your brand, not so the example I always make is we get people to stop going to Google and typing in auto insurance Kansas City, right, and clicking on the first ad that pops up, and instead going to Google and typing in Courtney Weaver insurance, right? And then the thing that happens is when you build a brand and you start driving Google traffic based on your brand, you don't need to pay for pay-per-click anymore. You don't need to spend money for search engine optimization anymore. Because Google wants to show the most relevant information, right? If I go to Google and I type in pressure washing and it shows me David Bowie's Under Pressure music video, great song, but not what I was looking for, right? Then I'm probably not going to use Google anymore. I'm going to go to Bing or somewhere else. So when you can build a brand where people search you based on your name, unless you're just in a weird Twilight Zone situation where you're Mark Johnson State Farm and there's a Mark Johnson Allstate in your same fucking town, which is maybe 1 out of 100,000 agents, then building a brand matters because now you go to social, which is what we do, and you just pound people over the head every single day for month after month after month after month after month, and you build your brand through top of mind awareness. I fundamentally believe, guys, that people only buy insurance for 2 reasons. They either have a bad claims experience or they get a rate increase. And this is normally where somebody goes, whoa, what if they drop ad? If they drop ad, dude, they're at the dealership. That's already a pain in the ass situation. I'm just calling my current guy and say, hey, drop the 2020 Escalade, add the 2023 Escalade. I'm ready to roll out of here, right? So nobody also wakes up on a Saturday morning and is like, gee, Michael, it's a great day to go buy some insurance. Would you like to join me today? It's like, no, you don't skip down the fucking yellow brick road to go buy some more policies. You also have guardrails in this industry that you can't say, like, you can't like show a Facebook ad that's like, call me today, buy an auto policy, get a home and renter's half price, right? Like, there are guardrails. So like, you guys have to understand, if you're in this space, the guardrails you have around your business, the guardrails you have around your marketing and your pitch. And the idea here is to build a brand locally, because I'm not driving past 12 other Allstate agents, right, to come do business with you. It's building a brand locally so that if I'm walking down your street and I stop a random person that's eating their drumstick ice cream cone, right, and I'm like, hey, real quick, who's an insurance agent around here? Who's that person going to tell me? That's how you judge a brand. Nothing else. Oh yeah, Cindy. Shit, man, I don't know. Cindy State. She's a State Farm lady. I don't know, Cindy something. And if I go to Google in your area and I type in Cindy State Farm, guess who's gonna pop up? That lady, right? Because it's a branded search. So I think agents are spending way more money on advertising than they need to, because they're spending it in bad areas. I also think that they're trying to like spend money on stuff that doesn't work, and they're getting taken advantage of. And that's one of our missions with Carroll Media, is to not only do some of the back end stuff that's just way too technical for an agent or their team member to do, but also to give them the tools and the training that they need. So whether they work with us or not, they never get taken advantage of again, man. Because I've been that small business owner that's like, you go to the newspaper, you run an ad, you spend $800 of your hard-earned money, and then you come back a week later and you're like, hey, Mrs. Newspaper Lady, nobody called me. What do they say? Oh, sorry. Well, maybe run it again. It's like, what? So I think that, I think agents get taken advantage of. I think they understand how to sell insurance and not market. And so that's what we do, man, to help them out. Sorry, I went on a little tirade.
Which is what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to help consumers with insurance. They're supposed to help solve problems. They're not necessarily supposed to be the expert marketer. They're not supposed to be the expert trainer and coach. Are you an insurance agent struggling to meet your sales goals? Do you feel overwhelmed and disorganized, making it hard to keep track of your leads and close deals? If so, our sales training program is the solution you've been looking for. Our program is designed specifically for insurance agents who need help improving their sales skills and increasing their productivity. We understand that the insurance industry, it can be highly competitive, fast-paced, which is why we've created a program that will help you stay ahead of the curve and close more deals. We understand that your time is valuable, which is why we've created a program that is flexible and convenient. You can access the sales training lessons and coaching sessions from anywhere at any time, so you can fit your training around your busy schedule. Don't let the lack of sales training hold you back from achieving your full potential as an insurance agent. Sign up for our sales training program today and start closing more deals, generating more revenue, and achieving your sales goals with more confidence. There's so much more to the program. So if you're interested in joining the program that's helped over 10,000 insurance agents nationwide, visit our website, www.weaversa.com, or send me a text directly at 816-727-7610 with any questions to find out more.
Dude, this is a hill I will die on when it comes to a personal brand. Like, I will die on this because I believe it has been the reason that we've been able to start 5 different organizations and to grow them to 7 figures each, is because we had a personal brand. It gives you freedom and flexibility. But the pushback that I always get, and I'm going to ask you this, is because I carry this flag hardcore, is, well, I'm scared of compliance. So talk to me about branding and playing in the guardrails of compliance.
Yep. So funny story. I won't tell that story. See, this is a mature DJ going, your attorneys would tell you no. So we'll save that one for an off-air conversation.
Full circle with the legal representation, bringing it back.
Let's talk about it this way. If you work for a big brand and you're a captive agent, we'll speak in generalities. I've learned that because I can have plausible deniability with generalities, legal term. If you work for a big brand as a captive agent, in your contract, you may or may not have permission to use that corporate logo, no matter what that logo may be. And I may have ran ads for agents in the past using said corporate logo, and may or may not have gotten a letter from a corporation that says, hey, stop using that logo. And I'm like, hey, it wasn't me. I'm not using it. It's captive agent ABC over here that's using it. Like, they're selling your insurance. I'm helping them write more policies. Oh, they don't have permission. Like, what? They give you 90 cents on every dollar they collect and they can't use the damn logo? Nope, you can't use the logo. So, Courtney, I understand where you're coming from with compliance because a lot of these agents are like freaked out about compliance. Now, you got some agents that are just like shooting from the hip, Wild Wild West style and don't give a shit, right? But there is a middle area that goes, I don't know. Here's what I say. This is even more of a reason to build a personal brand. They can't say, you're not allowed to say Courtney Weaver says. Like, it's my personal opinion, right? Like, and then here's the other thing. A lot of times agents overthink this. And Michael, I'll do a little deal for anybody that's watching. If you guys want to email me, I'll give you we have a 20 starter script for social media. Just email me, dj@coachcarroll.com. There are 20 scripts that you can use. And it's literally like, the number one problem I see with people who are underinsured on their homeowner's insurance is it's a starter. That's it. Because what a lot of people, they say compliance keeps them from building a brand, but really they just don't know what content to put out there, and they don't realize they're an encyclopedia of content already. They just need that starter. And if anybody has been in the business more than a couple of years, I should be able to start them with that. And then they go, oh, I can tell you a story. Perfect. That's what builds a brand faster than anything is telling a story. Change the names up and there you go, right? Or how about this one? The reason why you shouldn't have state minimum limits is because go on for 2 minutes and figure out what you're good at. If you don't like being on camera, maybe do audio only. If you don't like doing audio or being on camera, maybe just write it out long form. If you don't like any of that, then go hire a high school cheerleader to do it for you. Like, there is no excuse not to be building a brand for your business. It is long-term ROI. Now, again, short-term, maybe not. You don't see it. You're right. You spend $300. You're like, what the hell happened? No, long-term. And that's why I always ask agents, like, you plan on going out of business this year? Well, no. Why would you ask me that, dude? I'm just making sure, man. Like, because branding is a long-term commitment. Doritos doesn't spend $7.5 million on a Super Bowl ad and then come into the boardroom the next morning and go, where's the report? How many bags of chips did we sell last night? Right? It doesn't work that way. But a lot of times agents think that's how it works. And so the compliance piece, talk about what you know, talk in generalities, just like I did there. And then stay away from talking about anything corporate. Don't talk about a corporate policy. Don't get in the weeds. Talk in generalities so that you look like an expert. You look like you know what you're talking about. And then hook it at the end. CTA, man, call to action. Hey, if you aren't sure if you have state minimum limits, drop me a comment or send me a DM. I would love to take a look at it for you free of charge and let you know my thoughts and opinions. Thanks so much. Right? Like, boom, hook it out.
Yeah. I mean, I think from a compliance standpoint, a safe bet.
The C word, every time I bring it up, everyone's like,
Look,
let's talk about compliance.
The safe bet here is what DJ just said. Don't talk about the company you represent. Don't mention their name and don't have anything in pictures that also represent them, and you should be fine. Like, talk about what you know, talk about yourself. A brand, we've talked about this multiple times. You need to talk about more than just insurance. Like, you need to be talking about, what do you like to do? What are some hobbies that you have? Because this is what people are going to connect with. Brand loyalty is at an all-time low. So the last thing that you want to be advertising is the company's brand, all right? Because people don't trust big companies anyways anymore. Like, they trust who they're doing business with, and they trust what other people are saying about the business that they're doing business with.
Yeah, man. And engaging, like, it's really so inexpensive. My very first intern I ever had, she was literally a high school cheerleader. She could come to the office from 1:30 to 3:30 and had to go back for practice. And I paid her $300 a week. You literally will have high school, and the reason why I say a high school cheerleader, people are like, that's weird. Why did you? Because girls are way more mature in high school than boys. And if they're on cheerleading, their extracurricular activities, that literally shows me they have a sense of responsibility. Okay, so there's underlying thinking there. But if you take a kid and it's okay, well, you can make $12 an hour working at McDonald's and smell like French fries, Or you can make $12 an hour and come to my office and play on social media for me. You'll have them beating down your door. But no, man, we got to go buy $25 live transfer leads because I got to feed my sales team. It's like, it's crazy,
Dude,
bro.
all I can think of is like my peanut butter and crack sandwich. That's all I keep thinking.
Or we create hunters and not gatherers. All right. Like, you need to be growing your lead gen, baby. Anyway, that's a conversation for a different day too. Shit, man. You get me fired up over here, DJ. Because then it's like, well, we bought this real expensive internet lead, but we can't convert the internet leads because my team doesn't know how to talk to people. That's why you should call me. You want to learn how to convert the leads, branding. Like, man, you're talking to two of the best in the business right now.
That's right, man.
Where am I fitting in that?
Well, you're one of
the best in the
three
business.
and the best in the business.
I'm going to stab you in the neck with my pen.
Yo, me and you are one. We're one team over here.
Well, I'll catch you guys on the next episode of the Insurance Plus podcast where me and Courtney will bring you. Michael's in a hole in Sedona.
That's how we started with relationships.
Courtney, if I see on social media that Michael had a hiking accident, I'm going to know what happened.
That he didn't come back from, and he just got a new life insurance policy.
All I have to say is primary beneficiary. Okay, I am the primary beneficiary. No.
Hey,
DJ.
Listen, I know we got to wrap it here soon, but I do I feel like that was like a little shameless plug on my end. Can I just like give some value? Because I'm a customer. I've never sold a life insurance policy in my life, but I got to play that if you are a salesperson or an agent right now, I know you will be able to write a policy out of your book of business. Can I give that to your audience?
Yeah.
Okay. As a business owner and as a new dad, I wanted to buy a life insurance policy for my kid. And the challenge with life insurance is sometimes you can write it off out of your business, sometimes you can't write it off out of your business, right? So check this out. This was my insurance agent, but also my CPA, like kind of came together and put this deal together. If you have a child and they work in your business, you can put them on payroll. They can make $13,000 a year and not have to file a return. Okay. If they're under the age of like 16, whatever the rate is, they still got to pay FICA and all that. The government's not going to like let you not pay them at all. You got to give them a little piece. But you can essentially pay your kid and then use that money to then fund a whole life insurance policy, which then essentially makes the whole life policy tax deductible for me, the business owner. And everybody knows if they're listening to this podcast, they should know the benefits of a whole life policy versus a term life policy, right? Like cash value, all that kind of stuff. But the power of this thing really is where what you can sell to a guy like me, a business owner, right? We care about lineage and like what happens with our next generations, right? And a lot of times entrepreneurs, business owners, they don't come from a lot. Like a lot of times entrepreneurs are first generation guys. So the hook is to call business owners in your book that if they have children or, if you don't know, you can call and ask them and have this conversation with them and say, hey, look, Mr. Prospect, what if I told you I could give you a tax deductible way in your business to provide death benefit to your child, which would impact your grandkids and create generational wealth in your family, all while doing this to benefit you in a savings account, essentially. When you stop talking about life insurance, like it's like, oh, when you die, this, right? People get real weirded out about that. And you start telling them it's nothing more than just a fancy term for a savings account that's going to earn interest. Dude, it's a game changer. And I just know that agents are setting on business owners right now that they're not trying to cross-sell, upsell, having that conversation. It's not about like when you die. It's not selling me a policy. It's selling me a policy for my kid that my grandkids will benefit from. I think that your listeners could use that, man, and really put some apps out there because they're sitting on business owners that are customers of theirs and they're just not pitching it that way.
I like it. One thing I always like that, like, would you benefit? Like, would you benefit? Would this benefit you? Or what are your thoughts on this? And then you go into the pitch you just did. That's good.
Yeah, man.
DJ, if somebody wanted to follow you, connect with you, work with you, what's the easiest way to do that?
Oh, yes. Pete Carroll is finally retired. I can own my hashtag outright. Every football season, I get royally fucked. But in my you go hashtag Coach Carroll, and it's nothing but that old fucker. Nah, he's in great shape, and I've never seen anybody chomp gum like this guy can do.
Carroll.
I love him to death. I want to have him come speak at a conference or something, but he has jacked my hashtag for as long as I've done it. But any social media channel you can go to, you don't have to worry because my names aren't the same across them. And this is one thing I don't think a lot of people use hashtags a great reason for it. They're like, hashtag motivation. Use your brand as a hashtag, and then you can get searched across all channels. I'm the same way. Any channel you go to, hashtag Coach Carroll, 2 R's, 2 L's, I'm going to pop up. Would love to connect with you. Would love to help you. If you got questions, want to follow up, want to debate me, tell me I'm an asshole because I was like too cringy on the podcast. Totally okay. I accept all messages.
Dude, this has been great.
I've had so much fun. I wish Tori didn't have to run off in the middle of it because we'd bring her back full circle. But I'm so glad that we had the opportunity to have that conversation as well with that dynamic of two entrepreneurs working together too. So much fun.
Yeah, I want to make a lot more content with her. We used to back in the day. We have all kinds of videos like when we had the gym, and then like after we lost it, we kind of stopped making content together for some reason. I don't know why, but like we want to make more of that stuff. Plus, like the whole like homesteading thing is like a whole trend now, and we didn't know that. Like we have a ranch, so like y'all want to see a pond and some chickens and some cows, like, I'll show you. So it's like we're gonna make some content together. But no, I appreciate you guys having me on the Insurance Buzz. It's always fun hanging out with you guys, and we miss y'all. Hopefully, we'll get together real soon.
Yeah, man. And for all of those of you that are listening right now, thank you as always for your support. We appreciate you. Time is the most valuable and important asset that we all have. Go out, make it great.